it out and save that for the fight, I think.
Is this where the mind games begin today?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Especially for Tyson. I mean, that's part of his game. He'll try and get under the skin of Ngannou, I think. But I think when he realizes he's not going to get a rise out of him, he might abandon it.
Yeah.
Oh, here comes trouble. Here comes trouble. Hi, Adebayo Akinfenwa.
Blessings, we're getting there.
How are you?
I'm very well. I'm very well.
Fabulous. How much are you looking forward to this fight?
Oh, this is something special. You know, it looks like it's skill against strength, and you know, like I'm known for strength, so I'm gonna have to go for strength. Now I'm playing, you know what I'm saying? But no, I'm looking forward to this, man. This is something special.
Who do you tip in it? How do you think it'll go on the night?
Listen, it's boxing in it, and the guy that's going in there, Fury, is, when it comes to skills-wise, to be fair, he's one of the best. But then, boy, my man's got a really big, strong jaw. So, listen, that's for me. That's what the fun bit about this is. You're gonna see. Listen, Fury's gonna jab off his head. That's what it looks like for me. But my man's got power, and I don't want to try and brag on that. I know about strength. So if he catches, he's got a chance. Unless where it comes down to, and that's what love the thing about heavyweight is, you've got a chance, and if he catches him, then it could be night-night.
It's the hope that kills you, isn't it? It's the hope. It's the chance that actually it could happen. And who has more to lose in this fight?
Oh, it's a hard. Listen, the way the industry, society's gone, it's both of them, you know what I'm saying? But listen, I guess it's boxing, so Fury, innit? Fury loses at boxing, then it's Fury. You don't think so?
No, easily Fury has.
Yeah. I was
so
trying
much
to be
lose.
diplomatic.
Like,
Then he give me a look, to be fair, thinking, hey, big man, it's boxing. Yeah. So yeah, it's Fury.
Fury. I mean, how does Fury? Can you just imagine the aftermath if Fury gets beat by a guy who's having his first professional boxing match?
Yeah.
I mean, he's so much to lose.
Yeah, because where do you go from there?
I don't know. How do you deal with it? How do you deal with the criticism?
Do you think that weighs on him, though? Do you think that weighs on him? Knowing Tyson, knowing how he carries these kind of events normally, the unpredictability of Ngannou, the power that he's got?
Listen, I don't. I think he is unapologetically himself. I think he's confident. And I think, like, when you go into any sort of arena, any event, of course, you've got to contemplate the what-ifs. But then you've got to back yourself, and there ain't nobody that backs himself like him. So he's going to go in there and he's going to be like, look, you're in my field, you're in my arena. So regardless of what, he's come up against many big punches before. But I think it does, listen, at the end of the day, I was joking, I was making about strength, and he has got a chance. But at the end of the day, Tyson Fury, at his craft, is one of the best. So I think he's going in there thinking, look, no matter what you throw at me, I'll be able to adapt and put him down. So, and that's what makes it so appealing to watch. So we're looking forward to it, man.
Awesome. Bayo, we're going to let you go and enjoy it. Thank you, Sino. Look at him. He's desperate to get down there. Got to experience the hospitality. Good to see you, Bayo. But it's an interesting point, isn't it, about Tyson is actually putting reputation fully on the line here.
All the pressure's on Tyson in this fight. And a question I wanted to ask you was, Tyson is going to hit Francis a lot in this fight. What's his chin like? Has he got a solid chin? Does he take a good shot?
He can take
All right, boys, we're going to interrupt this chat.
Oh, Big Joe.
Joe Joyce
how are you,
has joined us. Hello, how are you? You are in the right place. Welcome.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
There you go. You've got that one. Joe, how are you?
Hi.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, feeling good. Feeling pumped, ready, focused, switched on, bit heavier. Good to go.
Carl, how's he looking?
Fit.
Yeah, he's looking good. What sort of changes? I wanted to ask you this question. What changes have you made from the first fight? Because we know you got it wrong, and I think you would be open and honest enough to admit that. I favoured you go into the fight, but I still favour you in this fight. I think with changes, you can win this fight. But what have you done differently in camp this time?
Just got everything right. Been like a lot more disciplined and focused and switched on, like in terms of camp. And I've got maybe I took my eye off the ball a little bit in the first fight, and like just making sure I've ticked all the boxes and dotted all the I's and stuff, whatever the saying is, and like it's a bit more practice with the southpaw stance. Like in terms of sparring and technique and tactics, but also getting my body bigger and stronger and more ready for the job to fight Zhang, because Zhang kind of surprised me, like with his speed and accuracy and power, and got a bit of the tactics wrong on the night. So there's a lot of little bits to nitpick that were kind of been handled in this camp.
See, do you know what? Hindsight's a wonderful thing. I thought you coming in late for that fight and in the shape that you were, I thought that was a good thing. You'd be more agile and you'd be moving. But then after a round or two, I was starting to think maybe this is a bad idea here that they've come in so late.
If I had won the fight like that, then no one would be talking about that, and no like mistakes that I made in the first camp would have like been corrected. So like going forward, it's kind of given me, you know, like a wake up call to like pick things up, kick up the behind.
Joe, just very quickly before you let you go, what do you make of this whole spectacle here today?
Yeah, it's amazing. This is a cinema screen, right? It's even got stuff on all around the sides and the ceiling.
It's incredible. In the future, would you ever be interested in a crossover fight?
Yeah, why not? Maybe, yeah, I'm open.
Okay.
See what numbers you're talking.
All right, well, yeah, we'll get back to you on that front. We'll get back to you. But Joe, we're going to let you go. Best of luck in a couple of weeks as well. Wish you all the luck in the world. Got to give that back to Dan. Thanks so much, Joe.
All the best, big man.
All right, one of the main men, Francis Ngannou. He is on the red carpet right now. We're going to get him in with us fairly soon. How do you think he's feeling?
I think he's feeling supremely confident. I mean, if you walk into a room and you see a giant picture of yourself with a crown, you've got to feel pretty confident, right? I think he's the man of the moment, and I think he's going to be ready for this press conference.
All right, we're going to bring in Francis Ngannou. Welcome, Francis. Great to see you. Welcome, right. You're going to use Dan's mic over there, if that's all right. Okay. Francis Ngannou, how are you feeling about facing up to Tyson Fury today? How are you feeling?
Feel pretty good. Yeah, this exciting, you know, get you a little pumped up. Good thing I'm 7 weeks out, but yeah, just gives you a little boost, little pick of adrenaline.
Perfect, Francis, you're the main man. We want to hear what you're going to say. Pop that mic up just a little higher. There we go. Let's get it there. Perfect.
I've lost my voice.
Look, Tyson Fury always puts on a show at these press conferences. He's going to try mind games, I'm sure. Is he going to get inside your mind?
No. No size of my mind. I don't think he's getting anything from me. I'm not giving him anything.
And look, how's the preparation and training going? How different has this been, training for a boxing match as
it's
opposed to MMA?
very, very different. And I knew that, but to get there and feel it, it's a little different. You know, after like 2 weeks, you start feeling your shoulder, like, you know, then I'm like, okay, I think my shoulder are sore, I think this. Then you realize that in 2 weeks, maybe you have thrown so many punches that you have done in 10 weeks training camp for MMA, you know, because in MMA you throw 1, 2, 3, and then take down or kick or stuff. That doesn't work in boxing.
Who's the pressure on in this fight, Francis? Is it on you or Tyson Fury more so?
Which what?
The pressure, is it more on yourself or is it more on Tyson?
Why should the pressure be in somebody? Hey, listen, man, I think at this point of life, I'm living a dream. Yeah. I'm enjoying, you know. One thing that I make sure, the only pressure that is on me is to give everything, to put out the work that I can do everything that is in my position. And I'm doing that, so I'm good.
You've got Mike Tyson in your camp. What does that mean to have him there? What have you drawn from him?
Oh, a lot of things. I mean, I've known Mike Tyson since I don't know how long, and I have met him a couple times. But to have him this time around, I'm like, okay. You know, I was a little confused sometimes. I'm like, no, he's not here just to watch. He's here because of my fight, you know, to help me. He's actually like giving me instruction and stuff. Then I'm like, man, it's Mike Tyson, right? I'm not tripping. So it's real.
It's real.
So that's how big this is, you know.
What's Mike Tyson's thoughts on Tyson Fury? Have you picked Mike Tyson's brain? What does he think of Tyson Fury?
I mean, Mike Tyson is a professional fighter, professional boxer, the best that have ever lived. And one thing that I know about him and what make him be there is that he knows how to read his opponent. He knows how, and he respected them. you know. So he think a lot of good thing about Tyson Fury, and he has a lot of respect to him as a fighter, and but he's on my corner, brother.
Yeah.
So he has chosen his side. I think if he wasn't me, if he was the Tyson Fury and somebody else, I think Mike Tyson would have choose Tyson Fury.
Okay.
But for now, it's me. So.
And that confidence from Mike Tyson must be good for your confidence.
Oh, absolutely. And it's not only about the confidence, it's also about, like, you know, the feeling, even the technical aspect. I mean, obviously, I would not, like, in couple months, or, by the way, nobody have ever imitated Mike Tyson's style and do it as best as him. So it's not something that I'm going to do it. But still, there is a lot of things that I have to that I'm learning from it, because when you look at boxing, he wasn't just good at knocking people out, but he was very good on, like, moving his boxing technique. I always say, like, Mike Tyson is the only guy that you can, only professional fighter or a champion that you can go out there, put his video and show a 5 years kid, like, look, this is how the box, right? Because all those professionals, they have a different style. As long as they become professional, they start to drop their hand, they start to move differently, which is not how they teach boxing in the first year, right? But Mike Tyson was, like, basic, and those basic works for him his entire life.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. You know, I'm like, how can somebody do something so perfectly? You know, you have to put his fight, watch it in a slow motion. Then, you know, I'm like, okay, I think this is just, I mean, a lot of hard work, but it's unique. It's a gift from him.
Yeah. Awesome. Francis, we are going to let you carry on with your media duties elsewhere. Thank you so much for coming to join us. We wish you the very best of luck in the fight.
Thanks,
and we look forward to the face-off for the press
Thank you very
conference. Enjoy.
Good to see you.
That is Francis Ngannou, who will be facing off against Tyson Fury a little bit later in the press conference. He's looking confident.
Nice big guy, very, very confident as well. It was interesting to know about the input of Mike Tyson and being his coach going into this fight, but he kind of talked about Mike Tyson's style, and I wanted to ask a question. Francis is probably as explosive as Mike Tyson, but Tyson had that kind of head movement and stuff. I can't really envisage Francis being that type of boxer.
No, not really. I mean, I'm hoping that's going to be some of the skill set that he recruits from Mike Tyson. I mean, as he said, there was nothing particularly spectacular or flamboyant about what Mike Tyson did. It was good basics, right? So if he can give him some of those good basics, the little peekaboo style and some of the little bumping footwork, even just those pieces added to his game with his natural power is going to make him a lot more dangerous in there.
Do you think Francis Ngannou has had to find another level in this fight camp? Because both fighters are used to the camp, the training, but in their respective sports. So for Tyson, this is just pretty much, all right, I know he's fighting the unknown, but it's pretty much still a boxing camp for him. For Francis Ngannou, he's never done a boxing camp before.
It's going to be so much more difficult. Difficult in a sense that I'm not saying boxing camps are more difficult than a fight, preparing for a fight in the UFC. But it's more difficult for Francis because he's never done it before. So it's a completely different sport, and he now has to get ready for 3-minute rounds rather than 5-minute rounds. He's got to get ready for 10 of them 3-minute rounds with minute breaks in between, rather than 5 minutes of a break, and he goes up to five rounds, obviously. So there's a lot of differences in a preparation for a boxer than there is a UFC guy or an MMA guy. So it'll just be interesting to see how he can cope with it all.
He seems quite a calm guy. There's like an aura around him when you stand next to him. Just then, he was very calm, well-spoken, knew what he wanted to sort of say. In a press conference, how will he be up against Tyson Fury? Do you think he'll keep that same?
Exactly the same. He'll be the same all the way through fight week. He'll be the same in the ring on fight nights as well. He's just got this even keel personality. And, you know, if you dig into his backstory and you kind of see what he went through to get to France and to, you know, the sacrifices that he went through, everything else is bonus material for him right now. He feels like he's on borrowed time. That's why he's so calm and confident, I feel.
Well, you mentioned about his background there. It's worth actually noting this is probably a bit of a lifelong dream for him because he actually wanted to be a boxer before he went into MMA.
Yeah.
So there is some skill there to start with. I think I read he trained for a year before he switched to MMA.
This is it. He had a natural desire to be a boxer before a mixed martial artist. He just happened to walk into a gym, the MMA factory. They had a lot of big heavyweights in there, and they were, they were training alongside him. Realized that he's got more skills to offer than just his hands, and that explosiveness is in his legs, his knees, his takedowns as well. So, he's crossed over to mixed martial arts. He's had a lot of success, but the mixed martial arts success that he's had has put him in a position where he can now step into boxing, which really I think is what he wants to do. He loves boxing more than MMA, if I understand him right.
You would know this better than me, Dan, but is his...
Fabio Wardley, I'm going to have to
Oh,
interrupt
sorry
you,
about
Carl,
that. We'll
because
ask that later
Fabio
on.
Wardley is joining us.
How you doing, big man?
Fabio,
All right.
hi, how are you? Great to see you. Sharon, yeah, one of the boys. There you go, there you go. We are. How are you? Fighting on the
How's
undercard,
things?
I
All good?
believe. Yes, very good. But we're here to talk about you. How's training?
Training's going great. Been preparing for a while, so raring to go. To be honest, I'm just buzzing to be here. It's a massive event, and something I'm really happy to be a part of, and really looking forward to enjoying the spectacle on the night and putting on a good performance.
Where does this fight rank for you?
I think it's at the top for me. I think the event at least is the top for me. This is something special. This is something different. I've been a part of some big ones. I've chief supported some big cards, but this is definitely the biggest one I've been on. So yeah, I'm buzzing.
It's a really good fight, Fabio, and it's one that people have been talking about for quite a while now. Are you a bit disappointed that the British title won't be on the line?
It's still TBC. It's still something we're working on.
Okay.
It's still a conversation we're having. Obviously, we want it on the line. I want to fight for all the marbles. I want to throw him in. I want to throw my WBA in. I want his WBO in there. I want the British in there. And when it takes all, we'll see who comes out on top. But if that's not the case and the British isn't there, then the fight's going ahead regardless, because it doesn't take away from the fight. It's still a great fight.
Yeah, you are fighting David Adley. I believe it's actually watching on right now as the mind game started
Where is he?
between you
I can't
both.
see him.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure where he is right now, but the mind game started. How do you see that fight going?
For me, look, I see it going how all the 15 of my other fights have gone, is that he'll be gone within the distance, most definitely.
I've
That's
spotted him.
the way.
I've spotted him.
Oh, you was looking for him.
I
He's
was
over
looking
there.
for him.
He's keeping
He's
an eye.
directed-
He's
yeah.
keeping an eye.
But he's keeping an eye on what you're doing, though. This just has...
Seeing what I'm saying, seeing what the game plan is, seeing if I let up any secrets or anything.
Is this
But
exactly the type of fight that you need right now?
not even that I need, that I want. These are the type of fights that I live for, that I thrive on. It's all fun and games, getting some journeyman in and getting rid of them in a couple of rounds and stuff, and yeah, great. No, the ones that really get me going, the ones where you see the best of me, are these fights, are the competitive ones, are the back and forths, are the ones where there's some bits on the line and it may get a bit tasty in there, and you've got to see if you've got it or if you haven't. And so far, I've always proven that I've more than got it, and I'm looking to do the same on the night.
How far do you think you are away from the real big boys, Fabio? The likes of Tyson Fury, the likes of Usyk, the likes of Wilder, AJ?
There's some other tests I need along the way. The biggest one we've been talking about for the longest time with me is rounds. I can't seem to get them anywhere. Can't seem to find them at all. So
Are you getting them in the gym though?
always,
Well, that's important.
always getting them in, always pushing myself, always doing 12 rounds in the gym. So I know I can do them, but obviously as a testament to something you'll know as well. Doing them on the night is a different feeling entirely. There's a different feel to it. So that's the biggest thing for me. But I don't think I'm that far off. 18 months or so. A couple more fights, a couple more tests, and I'll be ready to step in with some high-level guys.
Well, you said this is a huge event to be a part of. What do you make of the Tyson Fury Francis Ngannou fight?
It's crazy that it's come together, but it makes it so interesting because there's so many different facets to it. There's obviously how hard Francis can hit. There's obviously how much of a great boxer that Fury is, and you've seen him caught before, but you've also seen him get back up. So you don't know which bit is going to play more of a part than the other. Is he just going to box and move? Maybe he'll get involved. Obviously, you've seen him now with Sugar Hill, that he really steps on his opponents a bit more. So maybe that's what he's going to be implementing. Obviously, Mike Tyson a factor as well with training Francis Ngannou. So there's just so many different bits to it that makes it so interesting. I'm going to be buzzing after my fight to get there and watch it ringside as well.
So we're looking forward to the fight. Fabio, we're going to let you go. very much. Thank you very much for joining us. Indeed. If you want to give the mic back to Dan, that's perfect. Take care. We'll see you soon. I think we're going to try and get his opponent in. David Adelaide, can we get him in? No? All right. That's not David Adelaide. That is Rio Ferdinand, but we are just as delighted to have you with us.
We've got a couple of drinks in our hands, haven't we?
No, it wasn't me.
How you doing? You all right?
Rio, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. How come no one's got shorts on but me?
I know.
You are sweating, I can tell.
It is incredibly hot. We didn't get the memo. You were more sensible than what we are. But look, this is just an incredible spectacle. What have you made of it so far?
No, it's amazing. I think whenever Tyson Fury comes to town, it's entertainment. I'm waiting for a Batman or Superman outfit to pop out at some point. Francis Ngannou coming from a different sport altogether, so it's all systems go here.
What do you think will happen in this press conference?
I think it's going to be respectful. I don't think this needs building. That's the difference. I think if a fight needs building, I think Tyson's very shrewd and he understands what's needed to build fights and to sell tickets. I don't think this needs that. I think this sells itself. Two different disciplines coming together. So I think in that sense, I think they respect each other from their background, different backgrounds, and I think it'll be respectful going forward.
A lot of people have written Francis completely off, which I understand, but because he's such a big guy, because he's so explosive, he's always got a chance. Do you think, how do you see the fight going?
I think just because it's just
Got a
heavyweight,
chance.
it's the size. When the size of these guys, if one of them connects, doesn't matter where you're from, you're going to go down. And the power that he's got, if he transfers that to this, then he gets hit on the chin, Tyson, he will go down. But I just think his ring IQ, his footwork, his ability, what he's shown and experience, I think it's just, I just genuinely believe that if it's MMA, if this goes to an MMA discipline, Tyson gets beat.
Yeah.
If it's boxing, Tyson doesn't get beat.
My question would be, what would be your advice for Ngannou crossing over from one sport to another?
Well, I don't know if I'm the right man, I'm the most qualified guy to say it, but I would say, listen.
You nearly done it.
I was going to try it, but no, I mean, listen, watching the videos obviously is a key part of it. I think in any sport, you've got to watch people's habits and stuff like that. And not to get too detailed that I know any of this, but you just got to be looking for that moment that comes. Don't let it go when you can land that right hand.
Rio, have you spent some time with Tyson?
Yeah, I mean, I interviewed him upstairs, so we had a good half an hour. And
How's his
he's so relaxed. This guy's not going into a big guy. You would never know that he's got his titles on the line here. He's so relaxed. I mean, you've been around him more than me, so you know, is he normally like that?
Yeah, I suppose it depends what day you get him on. Some days a lot more relaxed than other days, but for the most, he's supremely confident in his own ability. Whether he's fighting Francis Ngannou, or it was going to be Usyk or AJ or whoever he's fighting, he's always very, very confident.
We were talking earlier about who actually has more to lose in this fight. For you, who has more to
Tyson.
lose? Yeah.
Tyson. Because again, it's somebody coming to his discipline. It's coming from another sport, really. So he's meant to be the guy that he should win this, really, if you're talking from experience, and that's his sport. So he's got much more to lose, I'd
Are
say.
you a fan of these crossover fights? But also kind of, we're seeing more of the kind of YouTube crossover. All right, not on this card,
I am when
but
there's titles on the line.
Okay.
Like there's titles on the line here, so it's just not. This isn't just like an exhibition. This is like it's the real deal.
winner at the end, yeah.
Yeah. So Tyson's got something to lose, obviously, but there's titles that are the big prize.
Yeah, certainly is. Rio, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
Really
you, guys.
appreciate it.
Nice to see you. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you.
Enjoy
Thanks
the
a lot.
press conference.
Cheers. Take care. Nice to see you, mate. Take care.
And we need to take a leaf out of your book and wear shorts next time because we are so hot over here. It's untrue. Look, this fight, whatever people think about it, undeniable. People are interested. It's the intrigue, isn't it?
It is. It's the what if, right? That's what we're all
that.
live for. The what if.
This is David Adelaide.
Good, man.
Hello, sir. How are you? All right. Gonna go?
Yeah, big fight that's been spoken about for quite a while. Yeah. You and Fabio. Yeah. Are you excited that it's finally made? And on, again, such a big platform as well.
Yeah, it's a good platform. I get to show the world how much I'm going to knock out this guy. You know, everyone talks a good game, but not all of them are really on having a tussle. And we don't pull out of fights over here.
What's it like? Obviously, there's a little bit of needle, maybe more than a little bit of needle, but is there respect there between both guys?
Yeah, there's a respect, you know. You got to respect him. It'd be silly not to respect him. But, you know, I respect myself more, you know, and I believe in myself, and I back myself every single time.
David, why are you so confident that you can beat Fabio?
Why shouldn't I be? You know, I mean, should I not be confident? I'm just confident I do it. You know, I know what I do, and I know what I'm about. You know, I don't take nothing away from him. You know, he's a big guy just like me. We're both undefeated.
You know, he does what he needs to do every time he's up there. But at the end of the day, it's going to be either me or him, and I choose myself.
And just how much are you looking forward to being part of this whole event?
Yeah, it's good. I think I made this event. I mean, the event wouldn't be the same if I wasn't on it. So it's only right I'm on the event.
What do you feel about crossover fights? Something potentially in the future? Do you be interested in?
I mean, if I was probably getting the same purse they was, I probably would do it myself.
It's all about the money.
That's what I suppose.
Of course it is.
You know, depending on how this one goes, if Ngannou needs another comeback fight or something, hey ho, I'm here.
They do indeed. Look, best of luck with your fight. We really look forward to watching it. We're going to let you go.
Appreciate you.
Tyson Fury is somewhere behind us on that red carpet. Thank you so much. Take care. It really is getting very busy. There's a little bit of chaos down here. Tyson Fury, welcome.
All right, mate. I'm good, mate.
I'm Becky. Nice to meet you, Tyson. It's just the way it goes sometimes. It's done.
Hey, there it is.
Do you want to ask first?
Bled out a bit now. Are you well?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Yeah.
Very good.
Tyson,
Shane, all that, will you?
in most of the fights that you go into, most people expect you to win.
Yeah.
In this fight, every man and his dog expects you to win. Does that bring a certain type of pressure with it?
There's always pressure. When you're Tyson Fury, you're Gypsy King, you're undefeated lineal champion, 2 times of the world, and every other thing that goes with it. There's always pressure. One in the pressure cooker, one in the frying pan. But I thrive under pressure. I thrive under it. No one can beat me.
How do you prepare for the unpredictability of what he
Knock
brings?
him out. Knock a motherfucker out. That's what we do. I've been with Sugar Hill now for 4 fights. I've knocked out 4 motherfuckers, so this will be the next one.
Have you been watching back Francis Ngannou's UFC fights at all?
I haven't, no, to be honest with you. I've seen a couple of Francis's fights with Stipe and Cyril Gane and what's the... I was going to say Craig Lewis. It's not Craig, is it?
Derek Lewis.
Derek Lewis. I watched that one. I watched a few of them, you know.
What do you
He's
reckon?
a big, strong old boy, isn't he? And if he hits you, he'll hurt you. Just like Dillian White, just like Derek Chisora, just like everybody that I fought. They're all big punchers, and they're all coming to win. He's getting 20 times his highest payday for this, yeah? And if he beats me, he secures his grandkids forever. What's not to do?
Do you like that pressure? You seem to like this pressure a lot.
I love it. It's what I do. It's what I live for.
Is this why you take these kind of risks then?
I take these risks. 1, I'm getting paid a hell of a lot of money, yeah? And 2 worlds are colliding. The battle of MMA versus boxing, you know the old cliche, which is better. And the fact that we're 2 champions in our prime, he ain't coming off like 4 losses or me either. We're doing battle and it's going to be a good fight. Whether he chins me or I chin him, someone's getting chinned.
Would you ever think about flipping it on its head?
I would, yeah.
And going into the cage?
I'd like to fight Ngannou in the cage.
Really?
I think I can beat him, for sure. He's not a good jiu-jitsu man. He's not a good wrestler. He's known for striking, and I'm a better striker than him. And in little gloves, I'd knock him out in seconds. I don't think he's a good wrestler. I don't think he's a good jiu-jitsu man. He's more of a stand-up striker. I'm
So
a
what have
good
you got
fucking
to watch
stand-up
with?
striker too.
What have you got to watch with
We can do a
Ngannou?
bit of kicking and blocking, and I'll elbow him in the teeth. You know, we can do all that. Did any of you guys see me training with Darren Till? Smacking it, bang, 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 elbows. You know, I was training over in Holland with the current Glory World Heavyweight Champion, Rico Verhoeven, and before that, the K1 World Champion, Daniel Geeta. All of these guys, I sparred them all. So, yeah.
So, it's all getting a little bit chaotic on the red carpet. Not too sure what's going on there. Things always get a little bit heated. But we're going to keep it rolling here. I think we've lost Tyson. He's just gone to have a look. He's wearing the most fabulous suit. He always wears the best suits to these
The
things.
suits are always good, aren't they?
Yeah, the Gypsy King, look, he's looking excited. He's looking like he's primed and he's ready. It's all kicking off on the red carpet. Hence, why I'm just stood here trying to talk to you for a little bit. I've lost Carl, I've lost Dan. Come back in it. Was Tyson still got the mic? Yeah, there we go. Look, I guess these type of things are always expected at a press conference. It's heated. This is what these guys want. What they're looking forward to.
I'm
oh my God.
I'm not even sure
He's
who
back.
that was.
It's
Who was
all
that?
right back there.
Me anyway.
No, it
I was
wasn't
thinking
you.
it was my brother, so it wasn't me, right? It's fine.
Oh no, you're safe. You're safe. But look,
Tyson, I wanted to ask one question. We've seen a Fury pre-Sugar Hill Stewart was more of a mover. Now you're more aggressive, looking to seek and destroy. Are we going to see that on fight night here?
Yeah, I'm going to beat the pussy up, call me Larry Holmes. Going to use the jab on him. Jab his nut off and then sink the right hands and sicken him. I tell you what, I'm made for this shit, innit? Made
You
for
are.
talking shit on camera.
you actually are.
I got to be the smack talking champion of the world.
I know, you're dressed impeccably as well. I admire the suit today as well.
Spartan.
How is this night in Saudi? Oh, yeah, I know, with Crocs.
Oh,
He
the
has got
Crocs, I'm just
on
spotting
as
them,
well.
yeah,
I did
man.
notice that. I did notice that. Tyson, how is this night in Saudi going to compare to the big nights you've had in London?
I think it's going to be an unbelievable night of action. You know, like I said, you got two guys on top of the game. It's heavyweight boxing, and all jokes aside, I take Ngannou very seriously. By the time the fight comes around, I've been in camp for 12 weeks. I've got some big guys coming in, big sparring guys and that. So I've even got Tom Aspinall coming in as well. You know Tom.
Yeah, of course.
I've got some really good fighters coming in to help me in the gym, boxing guys. So I never underestimate any opponent, whether he's a local pub brawler or he's a UFC champion or whatever he is. I always give them all respect they deserve because they're all threats and they're all dangerous. And like I said, they're all looking for that one punch that's going to change the stars.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What do you think? What do you think Ngannou can do between now and the fight to have better chances against you?
I don't think that he can do anything to have a better chance, but what he just needs to work on is landing that one punch just like they all do, like Wilder tried to and everybody else tried to. And that's it. They've always got a puncher's chance. Big men, aren't they? I just said to someone upstairs, Rio Ferdinand, actually,
Tyson, get your mic right up. We've got to hear what
that
you have to say. There we go.
if I went outside into a boozer and got in a brawl with somebody, he's going to hit me, isn't he? How are you going to go and have a fight with somebody and not get hit? Of course you are. It's like going to have a shower and not getting wet. I know I'm fast, but, you know, you can't go in a fight and not get hit.
That is very true. Let's talk about your undercard. I think Fabio Wardley was involved in whatever just went on back there.
Fabio and Dave.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's already started. What do you make of that British matchup?
I think it's a good fight, you know. I think Fabio and David for the British title, it's a very, very good fight. They're both undefeated, both young, both top 15 ranked in the world, and young, hungry lions, like as we just saw, kicking off Royal.
Aside from the money, why are you doing this? Why are you taking this chance to open the door for Ngannou, you could say?
Obviously, I'm getting paid a hell of a lot of money, right? That's one fact. Two, it's the fact that I get millions and millions of people from MMA and boxing going to watch it. Whether they like the fact that I'm doing it or not, guess what they're going to do? Still watch it because they're going to be curious, like, what if he lands? So it's just a massive global event, the Riyadh season. Me and Ngannou's going to open the Riyadh season, like this global phenomenon, what Saudi Arabia. We get to headline there and open it all up. So it's fantastic. I'm overwhelmed with it. It's fantastic, you know.
Tyson, you've took the best punches of, some would say, the biggest punching fighter that's ever lived in Deontay Wilder, and you've got up off the deck, got up and won the fight. Francis Ngannou supposedly punches harder than Deontay Wilder. Is that a concern at all?
Not really. They all punch hard. Carl, you know, you've been a boxer yourself. You know, even any if you fight a journeyman or you fight a world champion, all men hit hard, don't they? When you get hit in the face off them. I'm not really concerned about anybody's power. It's a boxing power. It's punching, whatever. If he gets it on me, you only need 6 or 8 pounds of pressure to knock a man out anyway. So if she hit me in the face when I wasn't looking, she's got a good chance of knocking me out. That's a fact. That's factual. So at the end of the day, anyone can knock anybody out, and it's a boxing fight. And you know what? We've got to go in there and enjoy it because I'm in the twilight zone of my career right now, 35 last week, and I want to enjoy it. Thank you. I want to enjoy the last bit of career I've got left because you never know when it's all over. God forbid I go in there and get in the tussle with Ngannou and ACL or shoulder or cut eye or whatever. You never know what's around the corner. So you got to take advantage of it, enjoy every minute, and that's what I'm doing. I'm a natural born entertainer. These guys ain't got shit on me, these boxers. They're like men in suits, like office workers and stuff.
Not a suit like that.
Yeah, never mind the suits, but they're just stiff and boring, and everyone's sick of it. And when I come, it's an event. It's a show. I'm the only show in town, and that's what it is.
Tyson, I feel like we all thought this maybe was a one-off. Would you do this again?
I told you I'd go in the cage with Ngannou for sure. And I would fight John Jones also in a cage if the money was right.
Would it change your style with the 4-ounce gloves? Would it change the way that you compete?
It would make me a lot more devastating. And it's something that I'm quite accustomed to. Like I said, me and my brothers, big old boys over there somewhere, we're always wrestling up and down. Loads of us, we're all punching lumpers off each other. It's something that we've been brought up doing. Do you know what I mean? None of us have got any skill, like trained for MMA or anything. We've all been boxers, but it's something that we've always been involved in. Like, always. Even in the gym today, we always bring in big lads for wrestling. Like, no heavyweights do that, bring in other big lads for wrestling. But guess what they're going to do, these heavyweights? When they come in, they're going to grab me like this, yeah? They're going to lean on me. And when I do it to them, they seem to be all fucked up. But when they do it to me, I'm like, ha, I've been here before. Come on, get the hips down and get under him.
What happens if in this fight, I imagine that you're going to hit Francis quite a lot.
He's got a big head, so he's going to be hard to miss.
But he has a good chin, but he may get frustrated with not being able to hit you back.
Yeah.
What if he, fires in and throws you to the ground or something like that? How does that affect things?
I don't think he can. I don't think he can take me to the floor. I just don't. I seriously don't think he could beat me in an MMA fight. Honestly, I don't. I think I'd catch him on the way in for an uppercut. I'd just use my takedown defense, push him down, bang, 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 grab him, knee, bang, elbow, bang, game over, smash to pieces.
I'm convinced.
Honestly,
I know you absolutely have
he's
convinced
going to go
us.
for my legs, yeah? I'm just going to throw my legs back, sprawl, and I'm going to chin him, bang, bang, bang.
All right, well, it's something that
He's
we
going
have
to be
to say.
severely damaged.
Look,
And with little gloves on, I don't even have to catch him properly. I just have to tap him with a little knuckle shot. It's game over. Legs will do a breakdance like Michael Flatley all over the ring.
Tyson, one more question before we let you go. You're about to face off for the first time, press conference going on. Can we expect a Tyson Fury show?
I'm here to entertain. It's what I do best. Ready to put on a show. Look at this great venue. Look at this.
Unbelievable.
Look
That
at
is incredible. Incredible.
The Gypsy King versus the African King. This is, by the way, yeah, the people who did this, the photographers, is an Oscar-winning photographer for the movies, and the costume designers won 3 Oscars. These people have pulled 0 punches. They spent millions and millions of dollars advertising and doing this fight, and I get to be there. Look at that.
I've never
Unbelievable.
seen anything like it. Unbelievable.
Big
That's how I would
shout out to the
describe
Saudis and the Riyadh season and His Excellency Turkey Al Sheikh and the big boss MBS, for making this all happen and putting us on the biggest stage in the world ever.
Fabulous. Tyson, we are so excited to come and watch this fight. Best of luck. Enjoy the press conference. We're going to come down. We're going to follow this.
I think that fight stole my thunder, to be honest.
No, absolutely did
I'm
not.
going to have to take him down now in the middle of the red
We'll have to
carpet.
go have a word. But Tyson, we'll let you go. Thank you very
Cheers,
much
thank you guys.
indeed.
Carl. Becky, thank you. There you go. There's your mic. Thanks so
Fabulous.
much. Nice to see you again.
Thanks so much. He is always such a brilliant character. It's just the Tyson Fury show, isn't
You
it?
actually enjoy when he's on that sort of form. He's a joy to be around, isn't he? He cheers you up, and
Have you seen the other side of him, Carl?
No, I've seen him. Like, Tyson's a complex character, as we can see from the Netflix documentary, and I've seen him in times where I've walked past him in hotel corridors, and he would just say hello, and he's not as lively as he is. But I mean, when you put a camera on him, he's a proper showman, isn't he?
Yeah, he really is. I mean, you hear this about quite a few people that are such huge characters when they step into the public, that when they withdraw, they've got to reserve that energy, and you can tell that he kind of peaks and troughs when he needs to, right? This is his show right now. I mean, he's on top form. Even the fight didn't throw him off. He could have commentated on it.
Yeah, I feel like he even enjoyed that, didn't he? He's going to have to get those boys in line though on the undercard. But a really great question you asked him about what can Francis Ngannou do between now and then to beat him. And his answer's nothing.
I just kind of feel like what do you do? Like, there's no boxing research that he can do, right? He said he's watched a bunch of his MMA fights, Derek Lewis and Stipe, and there are certain things you can take from them, absolutely, but you've got to prepare for the unknown in some way. Absolutely. There's got to be an element of prediction in his training camp, because he's got to be prepared for what he's potentially going to come up against.
I think it's smart for Tyson to bring in guys like Tom Aspinall rather than boxers in preparation for this fight?
I think so. I mean, you mentioned a couple of, Glory and K1 kickboxing champions who, again, they're stand-up fighters. They're not going to move like an MMA fighter, but they're also not going to move like a boxer. Their range understanding will be different. Any different looks that he can get, and Tom Aspinall as well, top flight UFC heavyweight, moves very well, very, very quick. Like, it sounds to me like he's doing all the right things, absolutely, and I would expect him to as well. But it's the preparing for the unknown. That's the question. Like, what do you think Ngannou could do to beat you in a few weeks? Like,
I know. What can he do? It's going to be so difficult for him. But I think you're talking about preparing for the unknown and kind of relaying it back to, as a boxer, sometimes when you fight good boxers on your level, you kind of know what they're doing. You know how to block shots, and you train to fight against a certain shot selection. But when someone has thrown shots that you've never been trained to defend against, then it makes it a little bit more difficult.
Can we just talk about the fact that he said he would go in the octagon? Because fighting fans are going to want to see, they're desperate to see Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk. So if he's now throwing around saying, I'm going to go in the octagon, is that going to...
And it was very believable too, wasn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like
I think
that...
he means it.
I mean,
he does.
He's trained with Tom Aspinall. He's been training with Darren Till, and like I've said this before. Like, of all the boxers in boxing, he's the one that would cross over because he's a natural-born fighter. It's his family line. John Fury's the same. Like, he's got teeth marks up his forearms. Like, you know, he's a fighting man that learns how to box, and I think that's why his crossover to mixed martial arts would be a lot easier.
I think I liked your reaction from when he was asked a question about that, and he says what he would do if he fought him in the octagon, and he would take a step back, and he would. Right. And your reaction was like, hey, he knows what he's talking about here. So
he's creating space, he's sprawling, he's got takedown defense, even the fact that he's thinking about these things. I've spoken to boxers that are already signed their MMA contracts and they don't know that terminology. You know what I mean? He's already doing the work.
Yeah, he's an intelligent guy. But what does that mean for the heavyweight boxing scene if Tyson Fury starts, well, not start, he has started, if he continues down this path of crossovers?
I suppose it has an effect in the boxing world. If we lose, you know, the heavyweight champion of the world to another sport, of course it's detrimental to boxing. But for me personally, I would actually really be interested and enjoy a fight of Tyson Fury against Ngannou in an octagon, or John Jones in an octagon. I mean, I think that although this is going to be a massive, massive event, if he does that, there's more eyes watch that than watch this.
For sure.
Well, from the MMA perspective, what does it say, or what does it mean for the MMA world to have someone like Tyson Fury wanting to enter it?
Well, I mean, I think first of all, it puts MMA on a playing field with boxing, which I'm grateful for, because for a long time we weren't, you know. And second of all, I think there are a lot of boxing fans that, as you said, that would tune in to watch that. If boxing has a boxer that can hold their own in mixed martial arts, a lot more fans will come over. You know, I think, you know, you get like the likes of James Toney crossing over to the UFC and struggling within a minute. But Tyson's not that guy. He's going to do the work, and if he can hold his own in an MMA fight, he would be the boxing representative in mixed martial arts. I think that would be huge.
And I think if that does happen, then we start to see more fighters do it, and they'll just follow suit.
It is
more boxers do it, not fighters. Sorry.
Yeah, it is incredibly eerie in here. Literally 3 minutes ago, it was packed in here. Tyson was here. It was all kicking off on the red carpet. Now everybody is cleared out, and it's just the three of us. It's almost like the calm after the storm.
This is the moment you get back to your dressing room after, and you're like, okay, that was crazy. What just happened there? What just happened?
Look, for the both of you two, would this have been something? How can we tempt you out of retirement at all? No.
I could honestly.
That's a straight no.
We spoke about that earlier, didn't we? And I could think of nothing worse than trying to get ready to fight, to be in a reasonable shape to fight. Like I mean, I couldn't do 3 rounds at the minute. So
it's like because you're eating what you want.
Just having a comfortable life. It's nice, you know. It's just yeah. I've done it now. Yeah.
But Dan, opposed to that, you said that you'd be quite interested in trying to get back in, right?
Yeah. Maybe I need to grow up a little bit. Maybe I need to wise up. But yeah, I mean, this is addictive. Like I'm better to be the party than to be at the party, right? And this is not my party. This is somebody else's, and I would love it to be my party. You know, I would love to see myself sitting up there in a big crown, but. You know, just to be a part of it is incredible, but to be one of the fighters is a different thing entirely.
I get that completely, but I think it's an individual choice, isn't it? And everybody's built a little bit different. Towards the end of my career, I was actually looking out. I was looking forward to retiring, if I'm being honest, probably the last couple of years. And I imagine you were a little bit different, Dan, and you just want to go on forever.
Yeah, I mean, my career kind of came to a stop very quickly. I think it would have been different if I'd have played out my career on my terms, but I just think this is addictive. You know, like the adrenaline rush is addictive, whether you're ringside, cage side, or in there. But the closer to the action I can get, the better.
All right, so maybe we'll see a return.
Maybe.
To MMA. Do you still train? Keep in shape?
Still train. My wife kicks my ass every day.
I love that, though. Well, I think the press conference room is definitely building. We're still upstairs. We will switch to downstairs. What do you think the atmosphere in that room is like right now?
Anxious.
Yeah, anxious, I think.
Who would be anxious?
I think everybody. I think the crowd, the media, because
the media are waiting on something
happening.
Yeah,
this is it. Like we're in uncharted waters. This is something that people don't really know what to expect, including us. So, like, who knows? I think there's a lot of anticipation and anxiety.
When you talked about Francis's character and how he's really cold and just calm, you could really just sense that off him. And not knowing him as well as you, obviously, I think it's going to be hard for Tyson to get a reaction out of him here today.
Let's talk about some of the undercards, because there is some really good fights going on there. As I say, we did see it all kick off on the red carpet between Fabio Wardley was involved. I don't know if David Adley was as well. We couldn't quite see that. But that is a really, really good matchup. And both of those boxers seem supremely confident.
Yeah, look, we spoke to both guys, and you can make an argument for both guys winning the fight. I think it's a really good fight that's been talked about for a number of months now. And they've kind of just kicked off things here. I don't know exactly what happened. I don't like to see all these sort of stuff, and I would hate to think that they're doing this to try and build a fight because they don't need to, because they're on such a massive platform. But I think there is genuine needle between the two guys.
Did you ever kick off at a red carpet or press conference event? Have you ever had any?
I was always the cheeky one that had a smile on my face, and
I'd love to wind someone up.
Exactly that. I'm not getting paid until the first bell rings, so don't start trying to fight me there.
Come at me.
But I that's why I feel that this was genuine. I mean, we spoke to both guys, and they both talked about how invested they are in their own power. Like, they're confident they're going to come in and starch the other opponent, and the tension in this room as well. I think that's going to spark some of these kind of circumstances.
Genuinely a hard fight to call. It's a good competitive fight, and that's what we want for. It's not. Fabio kind of indicated that the British title may be on the line, but at this point it isn't. If we can get that on the line, then it makes the fight even slightly more better than it already is.
Elsewhere in the heavyweight division, Joe Joyce joined us. How do you think he's really feeling about Zhilei Zhang the second? Because we were talking earlier, wins back in world title contention, loses. You said it was a long way back.
It is a long way back. Joe's no spring chicken anymore. Neither is Zhang, who I think is 40 years of age, but a very good fighter at 40. Joe has to win this fight, I think. You look at Daniel Dubois, who Joe's already beaten, fought Usyk for 3 of the 4 meaningful titles in boxing only a few weeks ago. Joe's probably looking at that thinking, why is that not me? A win against Zhang puts him back in the mix to fight the big boys.
Yeah, certainly does. There's some really exciting fights, cards, all sorts going on. But this one today, it's just felt like on a different scale. You have to admit, don't you?
Yeah, it really has. I mean, I've been to some spectacle events. You know, the Maymac week was crazy. Jake Paul and Nate Diaz was crazy as well. But this is just different. It's heavyweights. Yeah. It just feels different. Both these guys can knock each other out cold. We've got one of the best MMA fighters that's ever lived, especially in the heavyweight division, against one of the best heavyweights that's ever walked the face of the planet, maybe the best. You know, like what an event it's going to be. You can't not watch it. That's the kind of feeling I'm getting.
And that's the thing. I think that people will object to the fight because of it's a boxer against an MMA guy, but they're going to watch it. No, yeah. I won't listen to these people that are saying, no, I'm not paying for that, I'm not going to watch it. They will all be watching it.
Yeah. It is fully available where you normally get your pay-per-view channels, so do make sure you watch it, because I think it's just going to be unpredictable. It's going to be a brilliant spectacle out in Saudi. Carl, you said that there's not a chance that you would come out of retirement to do this. Has the option of a crossover fight been on the cards for you before, Dan?
Yeah, I had a couple. That was actually matched up on the Ricky Hatton undercard in Manchester a little while ago. But yeah, but it was taken off because the show went through a bunch of changes and they removed the fight. But we never know. We might get back in there. I'm talking MMA again now, so that might be an option as well. But maybe I'm just too old, Carl. Maybe you just need to tell me, Dan, you're just too old. Just stop.
Listen, it's not for me to tell anybody that. Your wife's standing there, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, she can definitely tell me I'm too old. Yeah, for sure. No, it's just like the industry's changed, you know, and it feels very much different to how it was when I was competing. I just love to be in amongst it now. Now the volume's really turned up on it.
We've seen what the boxing sort of heavyweight fighters, fans' perspective is on this fight. What is the UFC's perspective on this fight?
I think people are interested. I think a lot of people in mixed martial arts will be counting out Ngannou. There's no doubt about it, because we know what he's up against in Tyson Fury. But people are excited that it's happening, right? They're excited, first of all, that Francis is, you know, he took the leap to fight out of his UFC contract and go into free agency. That was a huge risk. He signed with the PFL. He signed to fight a boxing match against Fury. Like, all the things that he demanded of his free agency he's getting, which is interesting in the mixed martial arts world, because the last person that did this was McGregor, and even McGregor's not done it to the level that Francis
is. So this is what's interesting. We have seen Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather do this before, but not, I think Tyson mentioned it, it's two people in their prime. That's what makes this slightly unique.
Yeah, I think so. I genuinely think it is two people in their prime. Mayweather was kind of past it a little bit when he fought McGregor, and no one really I suppose there was an argument made that McGregor could win the fight, but it was always going to be a hard one for him. I think that Francis, although I'm strongly favouring Tyson in this fight, I think he has a better chance of beating Fury than McGregor had of beating Mayweather, just because of the power.
Yeah, for sure.
Agree with that?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you know, Mayweather's incredibly difficult to hit. His defense is almost impenetrable. And although McGregor, yes, he's got very heavy hands, it doesn't compare to Francis Ngannou. Like, he's not going to make the most of those milliseconds, those moments where Tyson, drops his hands for a second, and Tyson's going to get hit. Yeah. It's not like Ngannou's going to punch air all night. Something's going to land. The question is, how well can he take it?
If Francis, he not necessarily wins the fight, but if he's competitive and does quite well, and because we know that these crossover fights can generate so much money, do you start to see more guys from the UFC wanting to be involved in these sort of nights?
I think so, absolutely. I mean, Francis just leaving the UFC and going into free agency. He signed with the PFL. He's opened up the opportunity for heavyweights to make $2 million fighting him in mixed martial arts, which is a massive amount of money for an MMA fighter. He's changing the industry kind of quietly behind the scenes. He's the head of PFL Africa, which is going to be incredible. There's lots of things that Francis is doing to help promote and grow the sport of mixed martial arts, but the success will be the key. If he's successful, even if it's a couple of rounds and he looks all right, other fighters will start thinking to themselves, I might go and try and grab some of that money.
Yeah, if you are staring at your screens right now, saying, where is everyone? Where's Francis Ngannou? Where's Tyson Fury? Why am I watching these three talking? It is on the way for you. The press conference. We have got the undercard for you, and we have got the main event, where for the very first time tonight here in London, Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou will face off against each other. Do we expect fireworks?
I think it's going to be quite a calm, quite an intimate face-off. Because, of course, Ngannou's not fought anybody of the size of Fury before. Height-wise, weight-wise, I mean, the limit...
It was interesting when he was stood there, actually. Yeah. He is smaller than Tyson Fury, but Tyson Fury is just so tall with such a long reach.
Yeah, tall and rangy and very, very good at fighting like a tall man as well, which not everybody is. But Ngannou, he just covers distance so quickly. He's so solidly, heavily muscled. He's a very dangerous individual, no matter what range. Come on in. How are you? Good to see you. Step on in.
Hello, buddy.
Hi, how you doing? I'm Becky. Great to see you.
Oh, lovely. Thank you. Cheers, buddy.
Welcome.
Hello.
How much are you looking forward to this fight?
Honestly, I think this is an amazing matchup. Like, I've said it from the beginning. Like, obviously, the Usyk thing and Tyson, I look in his comments and I see the stick that he's getting for the Usyk thing, and he's the king. He, for the last 10 years, in my opinion, he's carried the game. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's defended his titles, he's done this, he's done everything, and he was going to retire. So now, if he wants to have a bit of fun, in my opinion, let him do it. He can do what he wants. He don't have to do. You know what I mean? He's earned it.
Before fighting Usyk.
Say that again, sorry.
I said, can he do it? In your opinion, as a fan, before fighting Usyk?
Can he beat Ngannou?
No. I'm saying to you, you're saying like Tyson Fury sort of earned the right to do this because he's done that, and I'm saying that boxing fans generally want to see him fight Usyk.
Don't get me wrong, I'd love to see Usyk and Fury. Like, it'd be the biggest fight ever, and like I were really excited for it. But when I seen it all kicking off and back and forth and stuff, and then it were like he's not going to do it, and it's like, all right, fine, he's not going to do it, and I was frustrated myself, especially for Usyk and for his team and for everyone else, and for everyone wanted to see it. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, the amount of 2 years ago, everyone were up his arse. Everyone said Tyson's this is the best thing, this, and I still believe that. And then you get all these people who are avid Fury fans who are now saying, in his comments, I'm looking at his comments, I'm thinking, how can you switch on him that bad? I get it, I want the fight to happen, I really do. It'll be the best fight. Like this, for me, I think this is a great matchup. I think it's a lot of fun. It's obviously it's gonna, it could get knocked out. He's got an hard punch. He's the hardest puncher. But I just think Tyson's too quick, too slick. He's a proper boxer, so I think it's more fun. It's an exhibition. It's like Rocky and Thunderlips. Do you know what I mean? So I like the whole aspect.
Tom? You're a boxing fan?
Yeah, I
love it.
Boxing fans are very fickle, and I think if you do something wrong, they'll be on your back. It might be the same in the MMA world as well. Yeah. But I think, obviously, when you get offered this sort of money to be involved in the fight, it would be silly to turn it down. Yeah, of course. So if Tyson has this fight and makes a bag full of money, that's fine. But I think his run of fights after Wilder, Chisora and White, and then Ngannou, totally it has to be a big one after this in the boxing world.
And like with the Chisora thing, like it were obvious what was going to happen, and he put on such a display like he did in the last one. And don't get me wrong, people want to see the Usyk fight. Usyk deserves the fight because of how he dealt with AJ, and I get that. But at the same time, I just didn't agree, because I love Fury. I'm a big fan, like, from everything outside the ring to what he's accomplished, to what he does outside, to what he's done in the ring. Coming back to life when he got knocked out and the rest of it, it really gasses me up. So when I see people, like you say, being so fickle, like giving him so much stick personally, saying you're a mother, I don't know if I can swear, you're a this and you're a that, and I think 2 minutes ago you were up his arse, you know what I mean? Mm. I think it will happen, hopefully it will. This is a bit of fun, and this could all be like a strategy you know, getting people prepared for. Maybe a little switch and then we're going to go and have Usyk, who knows?
All right, well, you heard it here first. Tom Zanetti, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Not
really
at all.
To meet
It's
you as
been
well. Thank
really
you.
great to have you join us.
Top man, thank you.
Can't
Cheers.
take that from him. Thanks, Tom. Right, it is time. Finally. No, it was perfect. It was perfect. But it is time for the main event. We are going to throw to you after the break. The press conference between Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou is on the way. Do not miss it.
Francis Ngannou versus the Gypsy King for the undisputed baddest man on the planet.
The undefeated, what a fight, champion of the world. Full-blown destruction is what happens.
You want to be heavyweight champ, that's what heavyweight champs do.
You won't find a place big enough.
Let's have it! Francis Ngannou. I'm the baddest man on the planet.
The Gypsy King, that's it! It's over!
And I'll give you the best hiding you've ever had.
Gypsy King!
I want to bring in Francis Ngannou.
And we're going to find out who is the baddest on the planet.
I think I can take everybody.
You got power on you. You think you can hit a bit?
This is Tyson Fury's era.
Now, punch your face in.
He does have nuclear one-punch knockout power.
This guy is a Gypsy King.
Let me feel that power, boy. Let's have it!
Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much to everyone here. What an amazing turnout. Thank you for joining us. This is an amazing, iconic fight. October 28th, we ask a question. We want to know who the baddest man on the planet is. And to begin Riyadh season in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, two kings collide. And we are looking to answer that question. On behalf of Queensberry and Top Rank, we want to say what an honour and privilege it is to be working on such an incredible fight as part of the opening of the Riyadh season, and we want to express our thanks to His Excellency, the Chairman of the General Entertainment Authority, Turkey Al-Shah, and to all of the teams at the GEA, Riyadh season, and Seller for this magnificent opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to welcome to the stage those who have come together to make this incredible event happen. Let's first welcome to the stage the longtime advisor of Francis Ngannou, Markel Martin. And now let's welcome to the stage the Hall of Fame boxing promoter. He has promoted some of the very biggest names and fights in the sport. Representing Top Rank, the co-presenter of Tyson Fury, Bob Arum. All right, let's now welcome to the stage another Hall of Fame boxing promoter, over 40 years in the game, promoted some of the biggest fighters in history, representing Queensberry, the co-promoter of Tyson Fury, Mr. Frank Warren. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to welcome to the stage the two men who will battle it out on October 28th to decide who the baddest man on the planet is. First, fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada by way of Bati, Cameroon, ladies and gentlemen, introducing arguably the most powerful athlete in the history of combat sports. Presenting the former undisputed UFC heavyweight champion of the world and the reigning lineal heavyweight champion of the world, Francis the Predator Ngannou. And now let's welcome to the stage his opponent on October the 28th. Hailing from Morecambe, England, he is unbeaten with a record of 33 wins and no defeats. One draw with 24 wins coming by way of knockout. Presenting one of the greatest stars in the history of boxing. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the two-time world champion and the reigning WBC and lineal heavyweight champion of the world, the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury!
We fell in love as the leaves turn brown, and we could be together, baby, as long as skies are blue. You act so innocent.
Nice to see so many people have turned out to see me. Thank you very much. If you haven't heard, I've got an energy drink out called Tyson Fury. Try it if you want some balls.
Thank you, Tyson. Great entrance as ever. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are joining us in the world. Today we formally announce a huge, iconic event, October the 28th, to kick off Riyadh season. A colossal event on October the 28th, the Battle of the Baddest. Two kings collide in the kingdom in what is quite simply the most anticipated combat sports event of the year. The king of heavyweight boxing, Tyson Fury, the WBC and lineal heavyweight champion, will take on the king of heavyweight MMA, the lineal heavyweight champion and the man who never lost his world title in the cage, Francis Ngannou. This epic showdown between two giants in their field will mark the commencement of this year's iconic Riyadh season. The fight is brought to you by Queensberry Promotions, Top Rank, and Francis Ngannou's promotional banner, Gimmick Fight Promotions. And of course, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to His Excellency, Chairman of the General Entertainment Authority of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Turki Al-Sheikh. Let's begin by discussing our wonderful hosts for this once-in-a-lifetime event on October 28th. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has become the go-to destination for some of the very best concerts, events, attractions, and more recently, some of the most finest boxing in the world. The iconic Riyadh season has taken place every winter since 2019, welcoming more than 37 million visitors from all across the globe. They've come to experience concerts, sporting events, dining experiences, and much more. Riyadh season is back for its 4th edition, and this year it will make history, with 2 heavyweight champions at the pinnacle of their sport facing off. It will be boxing that has the privilege of kicking off this year's Riyadh season. The special WBC event will determine who the baddest man on the planet is, and it is of course called Battle of the Baddest, as Tyson says, "Come on," next to me. And of course, you can't determine who the baddest man on the planet is without a man who also once walked the earth as the baddest man on the planet. Former world heavyweight champion Mike Tyson has been training Francis Ngannou for this fight, just adding another layer of intrigue and anticipation for this great event. So, we've got Francis Ngannou, we've got Tyson Fury, we've got Riyadh season. They all know how to draw a crowd and put on a show. And October the 28th, there will be a spectacle like you have never seen before. All right, well, look, as you can see, we've got a very packed top table here. Everyone's been introduced, and I want to start with Hall of Fame boxing promoter Frank Warren. Let's get some words from you, Frank, on this. Like, you've been involved in so many special events over the years, and I've heard you say in the build-up to this one, it's the biggest one you've been involved in. Tell me more.
Well, first of all, I want to wish everybody a very warm welcome here. And I want to thank in particular His Excellency, the Chairman of the General Entertainment Authority, and all the staff and management team of the Riyadh season, the GEA and Cellar. This is a massive event. This is the biggest event I've ever been involved with. It's a crossover event of a sport. You've got a guy who's the best in his discipline, UFC, the heavyweight champion, a powerhouse. He's in the Guinness Book of Record, the hardest punching heavyweight out there. And you've got the man, the lineal champion, Tyson Fury, who's done everything you can ask for in a fighter. Undefeated champion, brilliant boxer, brilliant fighter. He can box, he can stand and trade with you. This is going to be something special, a very, very special event. And this is opening the season. What an opening this is going to be for the season. After this, you get all these other fantastic events, but this is the event that's opening it. It's a blockbuster event.
And it's very special for boxing to have that place kicking off Riyadh season this year, Frank.
Well, look, as I just said, that the 2 participants, they're the biggest names in their respective sports. And Tyson's an absolute, he's not just a boxer or a sportsman. This guy just in Netflix series is the highest watched program ever on Netflix in this country. It's amazing. That's what he is. He is a massive, massive star. It's not just about boxing, it's about personality. And for me, Tyson Fury is the most entertaining, the most best fun as a heavyweight since Muhammad Ali. Unbelievable. He's just, wherever he goes, he brings excitement, he brings people. Last year we did 2 shows in the UK jointly with Bob, and both those shows sold out. Broke the box office records at Wembley. We sold out Spurs on December the 8th, freezing cold, not like the weather today, freezing cold, sold out. Why? Because of Tyson Fury. Why is he in Riyadh? Why is he opening this Riyadh festival? Because it is him. He is Tyson Fury. He is the best in the world, the most well-known boxer in the world at the moment. There's no doubt about that. And this man here is going to come and try and take his head off, aren't you? Well, I don't know if you will, but you're going to come and try and take his head off. And so this is going to be, I see this fight really simple. Tyson, everyone thinks Tyson's just a boxer and Francis is a big puncher. But Tyson, you've seen his last few fights, he goes in the trenches. And if he goes down, he gets up. No one's like him. No one I've been involved in boxing is like him. Magnificent chin, and more importantly, a big heart. So don't think that somebody's going to be piddling around pitter-patter with you. You're going to be in a big fight, a big fight. Fire's going to meet fire. That's what it's going to be.
It's not the first time, sir.
I know it's not. And we
It's
believe in your achievements.
Story.
And listen, for what you're doing is brilliant. To step up and step into a boxing ring, take my hat off to you. Everybody takes their hat off to you. You're a big man. We know what you're capable of, but we know what he's capable of. Unbiased, but it's going to be, one thing's for sure, while it lasts, it's going to be exciting. This is going to be exciting. It's going to be one of the most exciting events you've ever seen. I promise you.
Well, Frank, before I move on, we've partnered with the WBC as well, who have a special commemorative belt for this event.
They have. I thought there was a picture of it.
Which should be coming up on the screen.
There
sort of
should
like
be a
that.
picture.
There you go. Look at that.
The WBC. This isn't for the WBC title, but as you can look up here, they've commissioned a belt, which is the Riyadh Championship belt, and hopefully this will be something that will be fought for every year. But this is a special event, and as I say, it's two guys, the best of their disciplines, the best fighting the best. That's what this is, and that the winner will walk away with that belt, and he'll do well financially, no doubt about that.
Thank you very much, Frank. Lovely belt up there. Big thank you to the WBC. Let's hear from Team Ngannou. Let's bring in Markel Martin. Markel, this is a fight that has actually been talked about for a little while. How special a moment is it for you and Team Ngannou to land this fight with Tyson Fury?
To be honest, it's a dream come true. This is something that Francis and I have been speaking about for years. I think it was 2018, 2019. You guys can go back and look at the Tyson podcast. And we spoke this into existence. Obviously, wouldn't have been here without the work of this man right here. Throughout his entire life and journey, wouldn't be here without His Excellency, and wouldn't be here without you gentlemen. So we're honored, we're thankful, we're here to shake up and shock the world. Go back and watch this man's story. If you doubt him now, you will be sorry come October 28th. This man will shock the world. He's done it time and time again, and it's destined to be Maktub.
Well, Markel, I've heard you say that if he touches Tyson Fury's chin, he is going to sleep. You really believe in your man, don't you?
Everyone who knows me, not many of you do, I will walk into the fire with this man, for this man, because I believe in this man. If I have all the respect in the world for Tyson and his abilities, but I know what this man can do, and there's not a puncher on the planet that can take his punch straight to the chin. That's just that.
All right, well, thank you, Markel. Your mic will be live. I feel like you're going to have a few more things to say in this press conference. Let's bring in Hall of Fame boxing promoter Bob Arum. Look, you know it's a big fight when you need two Hall of Fame boxing promoters here promoting it. Bob, welcome. Great to have you as always. Tell us from your side how it feels to be involved in yet another huge event, but particularly you are starting Riyadh season this year with Fury against Ngannou. Tell us your thoughts.
Well, this is a massive event around the world, but it's particularly massive in the United States because UFC has become one of the most popular sports in the United States, and Francis is a legend in that sport. And Tyson has performed so admirably in the United States over the past few years that he is a massive figure in sports. And now the fact that they're both coming together is something that is creating tremendous interest in the United States. But more important, I think, is the fact that we are seeing history made. Riyadh is about to become the entertainment capital in the area and maybe one of the greatest entertainment capitals in the world. The plans for that city, for that area, are enormous, and it is really appropriate. And I want to thank the authorities in Saudi Arabia for making it happen, that this event is the kickoff event for the Riyadh Riyadh emergence into the world of sports and entertainment. It will be a momentous fight, but more important, it will be long after myself and all of you out there are gone, a historic event for Riyadh, for combat sports, and it's an honor for Top Rank to be part of it.
And finally, Bob, just on the fight itself, I mean, you've got a very dangerous man over there sat right next to you, and you've got the world heavyweight champion right here. What sort of fight are you expecting on October 28th?
A hell of a lot better than some of the writers have been predicting, because it's clear that Francis has not had boxing experience, although he's training diligently. But the son of a gun, I've watched these UFC tapes. I mean, I have never seen anybody hit with the power that Francis has. Tyson Fury, we know, he's been in with strong punches before, like Wilder, and he's got knocked down, he's picked himself up, and managed to come out ahead. I think this is going to be one of the most exciting events that any of us will have the opportunity to watch, and it will be shown here on TNT pay-per-view in the UK, and in the United States on ESPN Plus on pay-per-view, plus all the cable systems and the satellite providers. It's truly a massive event, and as I told Frank before, it's a privilege for both of us to be associated with the event.
Thank you, Bob. Brilliant. Well, let's hear from the gladiators, the men involved, October 28th, to kick off Riyadh season, who will decide who the baddest man on the planet is. Let's start with Francis Ngannou. Francis, tell us a little bit about how special it is to be involved in this event. And I also understand that boxing was always your dream. Tell us how you're feeling now sat at this table about to fight Tyson Fury.
I mean, I have a fight coming up, but first of all, I'm very excited and I'm very happy, you know, from having this dream since I was a kid to become a boxer. And today, it's not just I'm going to box, but I'm going to box the guy in the peak of on the mountain, you know. So for me, I mean, usually I will not pay attention of what's going around, but this thing is so big that I can stop thinking about it. It's more so like for me, it's more so like history about to be made in Riyadh on October 28th. You know, it's I mean, it's something that I didn't see it coming, even though my dream was always there, and I hope that is gonna happen someday. But I didn't see it lay out this way to be like one of the biggest events in the world, because we are going to, it's not just a fight. We are going to be open up Riyadh season, so it's a cultural event that we are fighting on, and we just make this fight bigger and bigger. And nobody knows exactly what's going to happen, but what I do know for sure is that I'm going to be out there hunting for that guy's head to take it off. So I can guarantee you that.
All right, thank you, Francis. Let's bring in Tyson Fury at this point for your opening thoughts, Tyson. Fight number 35 for you, an iconic fight, an iconic night. Tell us your thoughts.
Tell us my thoughts.
Come on.
Hell, where should we start here? It's been a long old road in the old professional boxing game. A lot of ups and downs, a lot of back and front, a lot of other shit as well. To get to this point is, should we say, astonishing. I don't even know where to start with this speech. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I'm a best man, or I feel like I'm a wedding speech or something. Where do we start? Well, first of all, we start like this, okay? First of all, I want to say, you're one good-looking son of a bitch, don't you ever die. And then, I want to say massive, massive thank you to His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh for putting this fight on, an event. I want to say massive shout-out to Dr. Rakan, massive shout-out to Spencer Brown, and I want to say a massive shout-out to His Royal Highness MBS as well for making this possible. Colossal event. You got me and Francis Ngannou here, you know, the UFC, former UFC. Everyone said he was an idiot for walking away from the UFC. And now all of a sudden he's a genius, isn't he? Guy's about to make $10 million. Come on! Egg in their face. Francis is going to make that bag rich, okay? Riyadh season. Here's a little fun fact none of you know. I've actually fought at the Riyadh season before, back in 2019, at the WWE Crown Jewel. I actually knocked out the monster among men, Braun Strowman. And I'll knock out another big dosser here in him, in another one 3 or 4 years later. So, you know, it's a very special event for me, and it's a very special time in sports where a powerhouse like Saudi Arabia are coming in, they're taking over the game, they're taking over football, boxing, whatever you want. I think within 5 years, 10 years, they're going to be the powerhouse of all sports. All the big sporting events will be in Saudi Arabia somewhere. And for me, obviously, I've topped the bills in Vegas, London, all over the place. You name it, I've done it. There ain't shit that is out there that I haven't done already. And now I get to do the world's biggest stage. All eyes on me. And I get to knock out him. He's a good-looking lad. I do like him. Probably got a big core as well. Remember that, Francis? However, it's unlucky for him that he has to come across me.
If you know where I came from, you don't have to ask that question.
Come on, come on. Get it out, get it out. But yeah, I'm absolutely honoured to be fighting Francis. He's going to be a very, very good fighting man. You can see he's massive, he's in shape. He's going to be a real challenge. And it's something different for me. Look, I'm used to boxing boxers and boxing the head off somebody. But to fight like an MMA guy's coming in different stylish, lower, it's different. It's a different look. I'm going to be to him in the fight like, beat the pussy up, call me Larry Holmes. I'll be eating a jab, bang, bang, bang. And, you know, I can't wait. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic event. And I'm honoured that I'm a part of it, and I'm honoured that Francis is. If you look here, like, this is the African king, Francis Ngannou, and the Gypsy king. People just look at these photographs. They don't realise the amount of work and effort that's gone into them. Let me just tell you. The lady who designed these costumes, she's won 3 Oscars. 3 Oscars, the costume designer. The guy who took the photographs won 3 big awards as well. So this is not small time. This is as big as it gets. So I just wanted to share that little info with you. We can get back to the press conference now, if that's all right.
Thank you, Tyson. A lot of key points there. Let's get a round of applause. I don't even know where to start, to be honest, but we'll bring in... Give me a minute. Francis Ngannou, let me ask you a question. We know how hard you hit. I've heard you talk about the delivery system. It's all well and good having a big punch, but you need to be able to land it. So is that delivery system ready?
We are working on the delivery system, and if you look... if you've been watching my training, you will see that we have one of the best guys in the world that ever lived, that ever done this in the camp, in the man of Mike Tyson. I think if you're talking about delivery system, you can go any bigger than that, you know. So yes, we are working on the delivery system because it's a very important element for me in this fight. I heard people said, oh, he has the biggest puncher, he has a punch, he punch hard. But if you can punch somebody, your punch is worthless. And I really intend to make my punch useful. You understand? So that's why I'm working on the delivery system. I mean, don't be a fool. I know this is a big challenge for me, and I'm working very hard to put myself in the best position, because no many fighters, even great as they were, didn't have this opportunity in their lifetime, in their career, to be sitting in this position, have a fight in this magnitude, you know. And again, that's why, like, sometimes I wake up in the night, I'm like, hey man, I'm tripping. Like, is it real? Like, then I walk around, I look and stuff, I'm like, no, I'm not dreaming. This is real. So, and all that because of Your Excellency up there, which I want to thank as well for putting this show bigger than a fight, a cultural event that we're going to be part of and make history out of it. And I'm going to fight the best boxer in the world for my first boxing fight. And I always ask myself, like, what will happen at the moment that guy hit the floor and doesn't stand up? Like, are you the best boxer in the world now? Like, what would that be? I mean, if you take out the number one, you're the number one, right? I think so. Yep. But it's really hard to think about it. I think for right now, I'll just focus on, like, take him out, then I'll figure the rest out after.
Tyson, before I bring you in, this is really a question for both of you guys. Mike Tyson is involved in this fight. You have had Tyson training you to help you beat Tyson. How is that going? And what sort of insight can Mike Tyson give you?
4 years ago, exactly 4 years ago, I met Mike Tyson for the very first time. And for many of you that know me, know that Mike Tyson, for me, is the best that have ever done this. And in our conversation, one thing that I precisely request from Mike Tyson was whenever I fight Tyson Fury, would he be in my corner? And at that time, everybody was looking at me as a fool to even thinking of fighting Tyson Fury. And today, it's happening. So from the moment that he get announced officially that I'm fighting Tyson Fury in Riyadh on the opening on Riyadh season, I hit up Mike Tyson. I'm like, bro, that thing become true. Like, this is it. And he's something magical, right? I grew up just know Mike Tyson as a face of boxing, and then I get to the point that my first boxing match, the guy in my corner, the guy that, I mean, I was in the gym with him training and was having those same sensation. Like, is this real, right? This Mike Tyson, right? And he was talking like, go, again. And I'm like, this is Mike Tyson on my corner for my first boxing match. This is real. And even that, after training, after we're done, I get ready to get home, and I'm like, man, one more. This is real. Just live the dream. It was amazing. So the motivation, the wisdom, the knowledge that he brings, for me, is something unique. For me, it's something that, I mean, he's been there tens of times, hundreds of times, which I haven't been there. So he knows a lot about the game. And if there's one person that I have to trust, that I can trust as far as boxing concerned, is Mike Tyson.
All right, well, look, Tyson, I want to get your thoughts on that, because you have literally been named after this man, and now he'll be in the opposite corner trying to get this guy to knock you out. What a surreal thing to happen.
So before Tyson say anything, I want to mention, like, if it wasn't me, if it was Tyson fighting against somebody else, I think Mike Tyson would be on the side, but on his corner. But too bad for him, Mike Tyson loved me more than him.
Too bad, Tyson.
It's actually hurtful, isn't it? I'm about to cry my eyes out here. I know, but if it was personal and not business, then I'd take it seriously. But this is strictly business. You know, Mike Tyson's doing a job for Francis. He's now a boxing trainer. Fair play to him. It's surreal for me to be. Imagine a newborn baby being named after a boxing champion, and then all of a sudden you're named after him. You become world heavyweight champion, and then the world heavyweight champion is now fighting somebody else, and now the guy you named after is training the guy. He thinks he's in a dream. Fucking hell, I'm definitely in a dream. Do you know what I mean? I'm named after the guy, now I'm in the opposite corner to him 50 years later, 30 years later. It's crazy, you know. But one thing I do have to say is I've got to take my hat off to Francis for his story and where he's come from and the fight, the grind, the determination and everything he's put into it to get to where he is. You know, he was just a young boy in Africa, you know, with a big dream. And everybody at home probably laughed at him that he was going to go to Las Vegas and win the UFC World Heavyweight Champion. And then when they said he's fighting Tyson Fury, they still laughed at him. But I never laugh at anybody because I know the man's struggle. I come from a place where anything's possible, and I've changed all my odds as well. My stars have been changed because I may not have been here today. Things would have went a little bit different. So never underestimate anybody. And people are like, especially the fucking media, they're like, oh, Francis doesn't have a chance. So I say, if I go to the Boozer, the old battle cruiser across the road, yeah, and I get in a brawl with a guy, a drunken guy, he's going to hit me, and he might have a chance of knocking me out. So how am I not going to prepare 100% for an absolute killing machine over there? He's trying to take my brains out. I will give Francis the respect that he deserves as one, as a warrior, and two, as a man, and three, as a world champion, what he is. He's a big man, very strong, very powerful. And it's in my interest to give it the 100% training in camp. I bring in the best sparring possible for me. I've got my nutritionist here, George Lockhart. We'll do a 12-week camp with George. I've been in camp already this is my 5th week in camp. Let's not forget, I only trained 6 weeks for Deontay Wilder. I'm doing 12 weeks for Francis Ngannou. 12 weeks. So I need to be on my A game because there's more on the line now than a boxing fight. You know, if I lose to a #1 contender, another champion, it's like, well, he lost to a champion, whatever. But if I lose to an MMA guy, I'm never going to be able to show my face in public again. It's going to be ridiculed. People are going to chuck it at me forever. So there's more riding on this than there ever has been before. And whether the media want to take it as a joke or whatever they want to take it as, make no mistake, Tyson Fury will leave 0 stones unturned, and I will come in at my fittest and strongest and best I've ever been to defeat this man. And if I'm not, and I get knocked out, I want you all to laugh at me. That's what I want, because I'll deserve it. Only an idiot wouldn't train the bollocks off of somebody like Francis. The man's a machine, and I'll give him 100% respect. And I'm in the gym every day training, and I can't do no more. And it's all God's will now, all God's will. This is meant to be. It's been written in the stars 100 years before we're even born. This is our time, our moment in the sun. This is us. And he thinks it's in a dream as well. How do you think I feel? I'm in a dream too. I jog down the road sometimes, and I think, am I going to wake up in a minute? Has this all been a dream? And then it's a reality. So as much as Francis is so excited to be here, so am I. I'm very, very excited, very, very blessed to be in this position. And I'm not in this position because, oh, I'm a good boxer or I work harder than the next man. I'm in this position because God willed it. That's it. Nothing else.
Just on Francis Ngannou's power. Now, Tyson, you are no stranger to taking on big, big punches. But they measured his punch, and he hits as hard as a small family car. Are you concerned about Francis Ngannou's power?
I seen the video of him hitting the pad thing. Listen, the guy's a big puncher. You can see he's very big and strong and very well built. But, you know, I fought big punchers before, like Deontay Wilder, and I even fought the old Dr. Steelhammer, Vladimir Klitschko. And the one thing that both of them had in common were they both were massive punchers, but they both couldn't land it when it counted. And it's okay being a big, strong puncher in a target that don't move, but it's pretty difficult hitting this hand full power when it's moving like that. So you can't hit what you can't see. And, you know, I'm not the best at what I do because I'm easy to hit. I'm the best at what I do because I'm the most elusive world champion in history, and that's facts. ESPN will back that up. So yeah, if he can land it on me, he's definitely got good aim and he's been training. So, you know, it's I don't think he can. I don't think anyone can land it on me. That's a fact. And if they do, I'll just get back up. Because I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never going to keep me down. And that's what it is. So yeah, can't wait.
All right, Francis, let me...
We're going to find out on October 28th how good you move.
You know how good I move. I'm like the Matrix in there, baby.
I know. And you know I'm going to find you.
I know you can fight, and I know you can punch hard too. So I know it. I'm not underestimating it. I'm expecting a tough fight. If it's anything less than a 10-round war, 12 rounds, however many rounds it is, I'll be disappointed. I'm expecting a war. And if it's not a war, I'm going to be disappointed.
You get it.
You
get your war.
We're both being paid a lot of money
from the moment that you signed for this fight.
So we're going to entertain.
So
this
no
is
doubt
entertainment.
about it. I'm coming for everything.
Good, and so you should. And if you beat me, you become the lineal world heavyweight champion. It goes back to the days of John L. Sullivan, the man who beat the man who beat the man who beat the man, going back to the olden days. You will be the Uno, #1 in the division. So yeah, fantastic opportunity, and fair play to you if you can do it. I'll walk across the ring, shake your hand, give you a kiss, and take you out for a beer. Alcohol free, of course.
Let's bring in Bob Arum. It's sizzling up nicely, Bob.
You know, a lot of you writers out there say Francis comes from a different discipline, and therefore going in with a top boxer like Tyson Fury, he has no chance. Now, what I suggest is go look at the tapes of Francis's UFC fights and see if you're convinced that he has no chance. Because I have never seen anybody with the power, whether it's boxing or MMA, that he has, Francis has. Now, Tyson is quite correct. Boxing is different. And boxing, it's not necessarily who hits the hardest, but how you can land your punches. So this will be not only a massive event in a great country, in a great place that's emerging as an entertainment capital, but a significantly interesting fight that people will be talking about for years and decades to come.
Thank you, Bob. Francis, I just want to touch on one thing, the weight of this fight. Now, when you're in the MMA world, you have to cut weight to make 265 pounds. You can weigh whatever you want in this fight against Tyson Fury. You're a big guy. How big are you expecting to be in there? And will you actually be bigger than Tyson Fury? What do you think?
I want to be in shape. I want to feel good, and that's why, I have a whole team around me to work on that. I have a great strength conditioning coach. I have a nutritionist, a chef that's work to make that. So, and I've been fighting in the high level for so long now. I know it's good for me. Where is the middle ground for me with good weight and most energy, right? So I don't want to compromise my energy in order to lose weight, and I don't want to compromise my weight by getting more energy. So it's going to be in the middle, and I think we have that figured out.
How do you win this fight, Francis Ngannou?
Excuse me?
How do you win this fight?
How do I win this fight? Usually I would say knockout, because that's what comes first. But I mean, I know the guy in front of me. I have watched Tyson fight live personally so many times. I have watched a lot of tape about him, and it's very slicky, so and that's why I put a lot of focus on my delivery system that we were talking about earlier, because he's the guy that is very hard to hit. So I'm working about that, and I'm aware that he might not get that punch, maybe not in with full power, but I'm making sure that however he goes, the victory will be mine. In Riyadh on October 28th, the victory will be mine. And whether it's knockout or decision, that doesn't matter. The V is what matters.
Well, let me ask you this. You mentioned there, if it lands, as I've said, you've got the hardest punch in the world. If it does land completely clean on Tyson Fury, what would happen?
If it does land, good night. Lies off. I mean, what do you think will happen?
Oh, well, I'm going to ask Tyson. I'm not going to say.
I mean, not to mention that this is a heavyweight fight, and that's what is very excited about heavyweight. We know that everybody in the heavyweight division can knock everybody out. You don't need to have a tremendous power. I'm not walking there just like, oh, Tyson Fury can knock me out. No, bro. I'm not going there to put my shin. I'm going there to fight, hit and not get hit. I think that's the rules of boxing, and that's why I'm very aware of that, and that's why I'm taking this very serious in all the components of the discipline.
Well, Tyson, you've just heard it. If he lands that punch that's been recorded, that hits like a small family car, he says it's good night. Thoughts?
I can't have a comment until I felt his power. Remember when I got the old Alabama Slammer up on stage and said, hit me in the face, go on. I wanted to feel his power. I haven't felt Francis's power, so I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be like. Is it going to be like so much different to any other heavyweight I've ever fought? Probably not. Will it bounce off me? Probably so, because I'm bulletproof. It's one of them things. It's like so many people have tried knocking me out before or beating me, and I've been successful for 15 years in a row, 34 contests and 2-time undefeated champion. So, you know, I've heard it all before, all of the bullshit that fighters like to say, I'm going to do this, do that. Listen, good luck to him in his training camp. Good luck to him and his trainers and Mike Tyson and his other trainer over there. I met him in Vegas a few times. And that's it. Bring your A game and let's have a fight. Let's have a fucking fight. That's what we're being paid to do. All this talking, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, we're going to go in there and we're going to fight. We're going to put on a show. He's a world champion in fighting, okay? Not a world champion in tennis. He's not a world champion in basketball. He's a fighting world champion. And I'm a fighting world champion, so the best man will win. There is no two ways about it. Whoever's the best on the night will win the fight. That's it.
And Tyson.
World champion in boxing. Because in fighting, I think you are very limited in general. Just
no,
precise
not
boxing.
fighting, because I think I can beat
Fighting
you in the cage.
in general, you're very limited.
I would kick your ass in a cage, no problem.
No, you can't dare. You can't even
100%.
think about that.
100%.
But just focus on
I'll beat you in the boxing ring,
just
and then I'll kick your ass in a cage.
And then we will see after.
100%. I'll beat you at boxing, I'll beat you in a cage. No problem.
No, bro.
No problem.
Focus on boxing.
No problem.
For right now.
Best
That's
at
what you can
boxing,
do.
and I'll beat him in a cage fight. No two ways about it.
Well, there you have it. The gauntlet has been laid down here. I'm being told to wrap up. What a brilliant press conference we've had. We're just about to have the face-off. The thing to remember, this is October 28th. We kick off Riyadh season. Two kings collide in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And we're asking the world a question. Who is the baddest man on the planet?
Me.
Well, there you go. If Tyson thinks it's him, I'd imagine Francis Ngannou thinks it's him.
I don't think it's me. I know it's fucking me.
Find out officially on October 28th. If you can't be there, make sure you're tuning in. Thank you so much.
Also, I just want to say, if anybody was offended by my swearing, get the fuck out that door!
All right, let's get a face-off down the front here, please. We'll get off the stage first, and then we'll come back on for a face-off.
There we go. Press conference is complete. It was. What do you make of it? What do you make of it?
It was very respectful.
Yeah, it was.
I kind of expected it to be like that, just speaking to them previously before it, but it turned a little bit towards the end when Tyson said that he could beat Francis in a cage or in an octagon, and that seemed to annoy Francis a little bit.
Yeah, Francis was smiling. It surprised me. He seemed like he was enjoying himself a little bit. But then, of course, as soon as he said, "I'm a champion in fighting," you've got Ngannou straight away correcting him. No, you're a champion in boxing. It's different. You know what I mean? I like that back and forth. I was quite entertained by the whole thing.
We are waiting the face-off that is about to happen here. The atmosphere in the room. There's some big names in this room.
Yeah, I just had a look upstairs, and Lennox Lewis is here. You've got a lot of the Saudi dignitaries as well. A lot of influencer type people that I don't really know who they are, but they're here. There are a lot of people here, a lot of people interested in the fight.
A lot of heavyweight boxers, though, have also turned up. Anyone from MMA?
We've got Simeon Powell here, who's one of the top light heavyweights in the PFL. He's walking around, a big, tall, rangy guy, lethal with his knees. So he'll be fighting on a Francis Ngannou card very soon.
I'm telling you, the interest. It's the interest, the intrigue of the unknown that will get to us all with this fight.
Yeah. I think that's why people, whether they like it or not, and I don't really care what they say. They will. A lot of people, boxing fans in particular, will say, "I'm not watching this fight." They will watch it because they'll be interested and they'll be intrigued to see what actually happens.
From an MMA perspective, is a boxer, like he was your best heavyweight UFC fighter, and he's now switched sports. Do you think this is something that people in the MMA are going to be looking at in the UFC and thinking, well, hang on a minute?
Absolutely, especially because the money that he's making. I mean, it took a lot of confidence for him to fight out of his contract to become a free agent, but it's paid off, right? He's got the big payday, he's got the opportunity, he's got MMA fights as well in his future with the PFL. So honestly, I feel like it's all positive for the mixed martial arts community, and I think they'll be watching this just hoping that he holds his own at least a little bit. But they won't be having out any outlandish predictions that he's going to do anything spectacular. Boxing wise, we don't expect Ngannou to outbox Tyson, but there will be a lot of people hanging on to the hope that he lands a big punch.
How does it affect UFC fighters and UFC fans and it could happen that he doesn't hit Tyson boxes his head off and then he gets knocked out. If that happens, what are the UFC and the UFC fans saying?
I mean, I don't think most people would be surprised. I think MMA fans are realistic. We know what works and what doesn't, and we recognize when someone's very good at a particular thing. And Tyson's excellent at what he does. Now, we wouldn't expect Ngannou to be able to step over and hold a torch to him in a boxing ring. But this is about fighting, and this is where Ngannou's different. And I feel like a lot of people will be looking at him and going, I think he might have an opportunity to land something. But if he doesn't, Ngannou's the better fighter out of the two.
As the boxers are getting ready, what I wanted to touch on, actually, something brought up at the end, the weight. That was a really interesting conversation that came up there, because Francis Ngannou is used to cutting weight, and it's brutal weight in the MMA, whereas this time he doesn't have to do that. So it is an unknown for him. There's so many aspects of this fight that is a full unknown, because he's never had to...
I think Dan's the man to speak to in this, because I didn't even realize until today that there was an upper limit in the heavyweight division in MMA. So that'll be interesting. He can weigh in whatever he wants. And saying that, what he doesn't want to do is he wants to weigh in his optimum weight. He doesn't want to weigh in fat and heavy, and I'm sure he won't, but you know what I'm trying to say.
For sure. I mean, we saw Wilder come in heavier in the second Tyson Fury fight, and he didn't look any better for it. I feel like Ngannou's going to benefit by being
All right,
lighter.
here we go, boys. Let's come back
already.
to that. Let's just take a look at what is going on.
To take his shirt off.
Do we think he's going to take his shirt off? That's what Tyson's trying to get him to do.
I'll tell you what, it doesn't matter what shape Francis Ngannou's in, he's going to be in better shape right now than Tyson Fury is.
No, he's not going to do it. I think he's probably someone that if you tell Francis to do it, he'll probably not do it just because you're asked him to.
Right, I want to see these two match up height-wise, because see, Ngannou's fought big guys at heavyweight, but he's not fought someone the likes of Tyson Fury, someone that moves like he does. We've got tall fighters in MMA, Volkov and Struve, but this is a different thing. He knows how to fight like a big man.
The difference in height isn't as I thought it was going to be much greater. There's only a couple of inches there. I thought that Tyson would have had a lot of advantage in that department.
I'd be interested to see the hand size as well. Ngannou's got massive hands.
Yeah.
The UFC have to make special gloves for him.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does that mean he'll get special boxing gloves then?
I don't know.
He might have to, depending on which gloves you have. There was gloves that I liked, I have small hands, but there were some gloves that were actually tight on me, believe it or not. So, I mean, you've got to probably make a set of gloves in the shipyard for Francis to say.
There's a few cows worth of leather, that's for sure.
I mean, the physique of Tyson as well, though. It's actually mad that he can get up on his toes and move around. And, you know, look at the shape of him. It's not pretty on the eye, but he can do it. It doesn't make sense.
Right, and there's an efficiency to that kind of frame at heavyweights as well, isn't there? I mean, you know, you look at Ngannou, and yeah, he looks like an Adonis, but there's a cardiovascular cost to carrying that muscle tissue around, right? Like, you know, you look at the likes of Butterbean and some of the big heavyweights in the past. Roy Nelson in the UFC was a big heavy dude that was undersized, but he can move well and he can punch, you know. We definitely can't assume that the optimum heavyweight frame is anything like Ngannou's, because it might not, especially over rounds.
Yeah, we look at, I mean, prime example is AJ. He's been criticised for blowing out, and he's, you know, a muscular specimen, and that's a criticism that's always thrown at him. Tyson Fury has never been criticised for gassing on a fight, that's for sure.
Yeah. Very cool. Not nearly as much size difference as I was expecting.
No, me neither.
No, when you put them next to each other, when we saw them on the red carpet earlier on, I thought there was a much bigger difference, but they're pretty evenly matched there.
Yeah. You got to remember, Tyson's still wearing his Crocs as well, though. So.
Yeah, Crocs and a suit. Only he can get away with that.
I know, but look, this whole press conference and the face-off, it's what we expect from Tyson Fury, isn't it?
I think he's been great. You know, I thought as soon as he got out of his seat, I was like, okay, Tyson's here. He's settling into his routine, and I thought he was very complimentary, but quite realistic about what he's up against. And I think, you know, Ngannou is very realistic about what he's up against. He knows that the odds are stacked against him, but if you've got fight-ending power like he does, I mean, why not roll the dice?
Yeah, look, I think there's genuine confidence in both guys. Both guys think they can win the fight. It seemed that anyway from listening to what they were saying.
Do we believe Tyson when he says like 6 weeks for Deontay Wilder and 12 weeks?
I believe him.
Yeah.
I believe him. But it'd be interesting to know why. What is the reason for that? Why only 6 weeks for Deontay Wilder? Why are you preparing for 12 weeks? Maybe it's the fact that he understands that the unpredictability from Francis Ngannou may be an issue. Maybe sparring with more kind of unorthodox fighters and longer preparation for it. That may be the reason why, but I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a good point. I think that it certainly sounds like he's done his due diligence by going out and finding other people to spar with that aren't your typical heavyweights. I just don't know how you prepare for someone like Francis Ngannou, because even he doesn't know what he's going to do sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, when he puts his foot on the gas, who knows what's going to happen? Just get out of the way.
How much is sheer grit, determination? And there was quite an emphasis then in that press conference on Francis Ngannou's history, his childhood, where he's come from. Because if you look back on his story, he has come from a place of nowhere.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean that in terms of lifestyle and the way he was brought up, and the fact he had a job at 10 years old and he had to strive and he's had to work. And then Tyson was saying, well, people have laughed at him when he said, oh, I'm going to be the UFC heavyweight champion of the world. I'm going to fight Tyson Fury. He's done it.
Yeah.
Why are we writing this man off?
Only if you don't know him. I think that's why people would write him off. I mean, of course, you know, there's a skill, there's a technical difference between the two fighters, but heart, determination, you can't take that away from Francis Ngannou. I mean, as you said, if you take the 10-year-old Francis Ngannou and you say, okay, one day he's going to become a heavyweight champion of something, anything, the odds would be astronomical. It's probably a smaller odds line for him to be beating Tyson Fury in a boxing match. Now he's found himself in this situation. I just don't think you can count someone out that's strived so much throughout their life.
Let's just go back to...
Sorry, Becky. Typically, and not all the time, but typically fighters, boxers, MMA guys, they come from hardship. The top guys do. There's been a bit of hardship in their life at some point, and that's what makes them the determined fighters that they are. So Francis has certainly got that.
Let's go back to talking about the weight conversation we were having just before the face-off came in, because I say it's a really interesting unknown for Francis Ngannou, and the MMA cut is, well, we were talking about your weight cut in boxing and sort of how you did it compared to how UFC fighters do it, and it is a completely different technique.
Yeah, I mean, I think the culture around the sport is quite different. I mean, I know, of course, across all combat sports, people are trying to get down to the right weight class where they're not going to be undersized. But because of the influence in wrestling from high school and college, we have people cutting a lot more weight. You know, and water loading, as you said, you tried in your last couple of fights. Sometimes people are dropping 20, 25, 30 pounds sometimes fight week to get to the scales, and then they can rehydrate very much close to where they were. I don't expect too much of that from these two guys. I think Francis is going to step in pretty close to the weight class that he's going to be actually fighting in, but then he's used to fighting guys that have got the limit of 265, and now he doesn't have an opponent who's limited with his weight.
Yeah, I think it's going to be absolutely fascinating. He is working on his, what do you say, working on the delivery technique.
The delivery methods.
Yeah,
I like that.
He's working on that. He's working on that. What does that actually mean 7 weeks out from a fight?
He has to land a shot. He knows. He talked about winning the fight and potentially winning it on points. Even Francis, deep down, probably knows he can't win the fight on points. He has to win it by knockout. So it's about landing that shot. It's about landing it, and can you land on one of the most elusive heavyweights that we've ever seen? It's going to be difficult. One thing that he can't do in this fight, and it will happen at a point, he may get frustrated. He can't really allow that to rule his head and take over, and it just becomes an easier fight then for Tyson if that happens.
Yeah, you're nodding. You agree with that?
Yeah, frustration is going to be a big problem for him, a big opponent for him, really, because if he gets frustrated, then calculation goes out the window, and even though he is quite reckless at times, you need a little bit of calculation. And also a bit of control as well. If he gets frustrated, he's going to be throwing more into these punches that may be whistling through the air and just wasting energy.
Just a quick one on Tyson Fury as well to round all this off, what has been an incredible sort of red carpet press conference face-off event. Tyson Fury seems invigorated. He seems excited by this. This is a different challenge. This is not heavyweight versus heavyweight, and that is a regime he's used to.
Why would you not be? I mean, I was someone who at the start of this, when the Fury and Usyk fight didn't happen, it was Ngannou, it was kind of like, you know, but now I'm excited about it. Why would Tyson not be excited about it? He's kicking off a season here in Riyadh. He's getting paid, I don't know how much money.
He's told us he's getting paid plenty of money today, so a couple of times.
Fair play. Here today, and it's going to be a huge event. So I mean, it's gotta get you excited. And the fact that you're fighting someone who can punch as hard as Francis Ngannou, it's got to have you on edge a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and he's an entertainer as well as an athlete. You know, I think he likes the idea that he's bringing a new level of entertainment to combat sports, and he's also he's paving the way for the future. You know, as Frank Warren said, it's a game-changing fight. I think Tyson Fury likes to be the figurehead, leading the way.
All right, gentlemen, a prediction from you both as to how you think this is going to play out.
Okay, me first?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
All eyes on you, Dan.
I honestly, I've got to go with Tyson. I think we're probably going to get maybe 5 or 6 rounds of Ngannou trying to get around his jab, trying to work the body a little bit to make the head more available. But that double jab feint that he was using against Deontay Wilder is going to be really problematic for Ngannou, and that rear uppercut that he uses so well is going to be a problem for Ngannou, because I feel like his defense is going to be moving into that center line, which is a very, very MMA thing to do.
I can't see it any other way than Tyson Fury winning. Look, we have to give Francis a chance because he is such an explosive, powerful man. But it's hard for me to make an argument that Francis can actually win the fight, considering it's his first professional boxing match. And saying all this, I'm still excited about what I'm about to see, but I think that Tyson outboxes him for a couple of rounds and probably stops him. It's a 10-round fight, not 12 rounds, probably stops him in the middle.
All right, well, all it takes, though, is one punch. We will wait and see who will be crowned the baddest man on the planet when Tyson Fury takes on Francis Ngannou, 28th of October. This is not one to be missed.
Francis Ngannou versus the Gypsy King for the undisputed baddest man on the planet.
The undefeated, what a fight, champion of the world. Full-blown destruction is what happens.
You want to be heavyweight champ, that's what heavyweight champs do.
You won't find a place big enough.
Let's have it! Francis Ngannou. I'm the baddest man on the planet.
The Gypsy King, that's it! It's over!
And I'll give you the best hiding you've ever had. Francis Ngannou.
And we're going to find out who is the baddest on the planet.
I think I can take everybody.
You got power on you. You think you can hit a bit?
This is Tyson Fury's era.
He does have nuclear one-punch knockout power.
This guy is a gypsy king.
Let me feel that power, boy. Let's have it!